All right. Is it recording?
Yep, we are live now.
How do you know?
It says live in the corner.
Does it? Oh.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, it does. I'm like, it says two live on that side. All right. So we finally got it together. So Shane and I are back. Like, if you saw our trailer, vacations are over, school's back in session. We're back to doing this on a weekly basis because people are like, what day are you recording now? Like, we can't keep up with you. So we're sorry. And we are doing um, the live thing with Facebook. So
Facts.
yeah. So anyway, we'll see if anybody. I have it pointed towards the screen, so we'll see if that works. So okay, all right, Shane. Who are we?
Man, we are two seasoned corporate veterans who are here to pass along the trauma we received along our careers in hopes that you don't do the same things that we did, or at least that you laugh while you are going through it.
Hey, who's on your shirt?
Oh man, the Cosby Show is on my shirt.
Oh, I
Yes,
like that.
I do too.
You just got that.
I just got this a little bit ago. I haven't
Okay.
worn it in a minute, but yeah, I got
Oh, look at
another
my
one for
shirt.
the single.
Look at my
Who's on
shirt.
your shirt? Those like
So
swim
it's
team?
Black Ladies. It says, what does it say?
I don't know.
Black Beach, vintage.
Can't see anything.
This is Black Beach vintage edition Martha's Vineyard. So this is must be a
Oh,
picture
cool.
from the maybe the 40s or the 50s, judging from the bathing suits
Yeah.
on in Martha's Vineyard on the Inkwell Beach, which is called Inkwell because that's where the black people were, and they said we look like dots of ink
Oh, they're so
on the beach.
creative with their
Yeah, but see how
slander, isn't
we
it?
took
And
their
see how we
lemon,
flip it? We
we
take it
took
like,
their
all right,
lemon and made it
cool.
lemonade. Right?
We'll
Okay,
we'll take that and then we'll put a
okay.
little thing on it.
We know y'all was calling it nigga beach, but that's okay.
They really wanted to call it nigga
Right.
beach.
Yeah.
They
So
really did.
right, they want. So we're not gonna. Are we gonna? I don't know if we're gonna do the swear thing this week.
Yeah, because we probably gonna run that up
Yeah,
this week because we got some
this
spicy
week. Yeah,
topics
yeah,
this week.
this week. All
Yeah.
right. So you kick it off.
Yeah, man. So yeah, so this week, there's some things going on this week. We're gonna start off a little light, little like, hey, and then we're gonna work our way up to some of the crazy bullshit that's going on in the US. So first thing
Okay.
first, people don't learn from their mistakes, right? Even if it is in a movie. So apparently scientists are trying to recreate the Tasmanian tiger, which is an animal that went extinct about 2,000 years ago. But as we've made more advances in science, scientists are like, ooh, let's create this little hellacious monster and let's see what happens, right?
Not the Tasmanian devil, but the Tasmanian
Meaning tiger,
tiger.
right? But nothing that no animal with the surname Tasmanian
Yeah, we know
has
that from
really turned out good,
watching, you know,
right? But
Bugs
also
Bunny,
they don't want to stop there. They want to also they want to recreate
dinosaurs,
the woolly mammoth
the
as
woolly
well.
mammoth. Well, he had his chance. Now now he's lost the hair and he's an elephant.
No, they want to bring it back. Let's bring back the woolly mammoth.
Did they not
You know,
read Michael Crichton's book rather that was made to a movie, a little movie called Jurassic Park?
did they not? Because that's where we're headed. Because
Right, that's what we're headed.
once they get the woolly mammoth thing, somebody's gonna be like, let's bring back a dinosaur and see what happens. And
Well, you
then
want to see a dinosaur? Go look at a bird.
they
Or
want to bring it
raptors.
back. They're bored. Apparently, these scientists are bored.
Tasmanian
So
tiger.
yeah, the
Why not just
Tasmanian
make
tiger.
more tigers? I mean, why are we gonna try to make another breed of anything so we could kill it again?
Yeah, apparently it's like a small, not small, but it's a carnivorous marsupial that's striped.
Oh,
That
so that is kind of like the Tasmanian devil then.
yeah, that used to roam the Australian bush.
And
And
if that went extinct in Australia, then
yeah,
it wasn't meant to be. That's
nope.
Darwin in effect.
You know why it went extinct in Australia? Because all the farmers killed them. They got
Oh,
together and started killing them.
okay.
You
Well,
know,
then there you
so
have it.
apparently the people back then didn't know anything because they felt the need to kill them all off. But now we're gonna bring them back. So yeah, let's go
Okay.
down that path, right? So first the Tasmanian tiger, then the woolly mammoth, and then a dinosaur too. It's ought
Yeah.
to be fun.
Yeah.
It's ought to be. My
Sounds
great
fun.
great grandkids are gonna have a time of their life playing with dinosaurs.
Great, great, great. We're gonna be dead. We'll all be dead.
Yeah, I don't have
Oh
to
my
deal with it.
gosh.
But
Jeez.
somebody will. Yeah, they wild over here, man. So
Ah.
there's that. Then there's a follow up on the story. Deshaun Watson. The ruin finally came back on him, and he is going to be suspended now for 11 games, and he's going to be fined $5 million. Of that $5 million, his fine, along with $1 million contribution from the NFL and this organization of Cleveland Browns, will go towards creating a fund to support nonprofit organizations in the United States that educate young people on the healthy relationships, promote education, prevention of sexual misconduct and assault, supporting survivors, and other related causes. But I feel like when you have so many causes like that, it just dilutes the money because we're going to
Mm-hmm.
spread the money around so much that the money's not really going to be able to make an impact in any one direct place.
Hmm. Okay, I don't have any comment. I he's a jerk.
This is just my workout stuff.
If you have a secret identity,
Oh, what's that?
I have no idea
but
what
if you
that
want to
is.
save by
Is it on my side or your side?
you need
I think
Geico.
that's on my side, maybe.
Oh,
That was weird. Computers. That's when you have so many
that's
tabs open.
yeah.
and
That's
another
something.
random
That's
tab
that's
just
the Holy
starts-
Ghost coming through.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, because you was about to say something. And you're
No,
like,
because
"Ah."
he's a jerk. He's a creep.
I have heard that he is actually the quite opposite of that.
No,
That he is. No,
okay.
here's what I heard. Here's
people
somebody that
aren't
knows
all-
him personally.
I know, but people aren't all of everything. Jeffrey Dahmer had some friends. You know what
Right.
I mean?
No, I'm not saying that. What the issue is that he was extremely sheltered, and so he doesn't know how to approach women, and so
he
he's
just
been
pulls
using.
his dick out.
He doesn't pull his dick out
Yeah,
necessarily.
he-
What he does, he just asks them. He didn't
Didn't just ask. No, there were. I watched the Real Sports with the ladies, and he did some of those girls. They were traumatized. I don't know about that, but
He is. I'm not saying that. No, I'm not saying he's
but listen,
not creepy.
all right.
What I'm saying is he just didn't.
Regular dudes do what he did. My esthetician, I love her to pieces. What's Brittany's nude wax? NUUD wax.
Yeah.
It's in City Decatur. Look it up. She's fantastic. Fantastic. I overtip her because I don't want her to ever go away. Like when she's booked and I can't get an appointment, I'm so happy.
Right.
But she's in there. She's in this place. It's by herself. It's a building, but she's got her own little suite.
Yeah.
And nobody would hear a thing. And she's had some dudes who come in to get full waxing who start cutting up. And but she's let one of the guys come back. So she wasn't traumatized, but she was like, oh, this is bullshit. I said, no, you need a stun gun. And as soon as somebody pulls their dick out, they're sometimes
the dick's already out.
Out. So she'll ask them to move it. She doesn't touch anything. She's like, you move it, you pull the hair, you know what I mean? So it's any funny stuff, like you just hit them in the nuts.
Hey, turn the camera around on you. We can't see you on your live.
You can't see me.
On the live. No, you're facing the your computer screen.
Oh, I did that so I could see both of us. But since
But
we're
they
on
can't
it.
see. Exactly.
So goofy.
Oh,
Oh.
look at that. Oh, angle it up. Oh, there we go. Oh my God.
No, I'll put it
Look
here.
at that.
I am so goofy. I'll put it right here.
There it is. Oh, give it to him.
Okay.
Look at you.
All right.
Boom.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
okay.
So what's been interesting though is that this is a mix, right? Because I've heard stories about persons, I guess estheticians who do waxing, who actually give like
Happy endings.
women happy endings, right? Like, so I think there is it was a whole trend on TikTok. I mean, not TikTok, Twitter, where women were talking about how their waxer.
Is a waxer a dude?
No, women give them extra attention and take care of it.
That sounds like a Sex and the City episode. I know you didn't watch that because you.
I did watch Sex and the City. I love Sex and the City.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay, you remember the episode where the esthetician, the masseuse, masseur, took care of the one customer, and Samantha was like, "What? I'm booking him right now."
Exactly. Yeah. So what happened? So I think like regular people do it because they don't. It's like a gamble. It's like 50-50. Like, are you one of those who go extra? Or are you not? And they try it and figure it out. But Deshaun Watson, it is interesting that all of this came out when he decided he wanted to leave the Texans, right? And the Texans was the team.
You're gonna find a conspiracy.
No, listen, because the Texans, as you saw in the report, they were supplying these masseuses. Like they were supplying these
They
persons
were
to
telling
him.
him where to go.
Yeah, no, they were actually bringing them into the facility for him.
No. Some of
And
them. The one lady, he came to her place of business.
right, no, not all of them, but
Yeah.
many of them
Okay.
were supplied by the team, right? And
Mhm.
so, and this has been going on for years, but none of these stories came out until after he made a big fuss about the organization being shitty and wanting to leave the organization. And then it
Okay.
was like the protective veil that the organization had on him. They pulled it back, and we're
Oh.
here.
Well, yeah, just like the dude who got into the fight with his fiance, and
Oh, Ray Rice.
yeah, Ray Rice,
Yeah,
and who told, and it was all right until the video came out, and then it's like,
exactly.
ooh,
Like NFL, they'll protect
shock
you
and
until they
appall.
have to
Yeah.
not protect you.
Right.
You know?
Hey, well, sometimes people are like, look, I'm with you until the shit gets
Until
real.
I'm not with you, exactly.
Until there's a video, like Arthur
until
Blank
there's a
with,
video.
with Michael with Vic. You know, he was like, "You're like a son." Then he was like, disowned him. I'm like, "You ain't." Never mind.
Yep. And now, speaking of being disowned and
Oh.
controversy
Yeah.
and being a pretty shitty person, we have our man's Kells. R. Kelly is one of those persons who we will always debate: can we separate talent from the person? Right? Because R. Kelly's talent is seemingly transcendent of controversy
It is
and time. Because a song that R. Kelly made with Ludacris, Leg
I
Shaking,
never heard that song before.
that came out in 2013,
Never heard it before.
is now viral on TikTok.
It's a good song.
It is a good song.
It's a
I
good
have it
song.
on my rotation. I've never stopped putting R. Kelly on my rotation. I did take up some of the songs that they spoke about in the actual documentary, and like the girls were like, "Oh, this song was made because of this," and I was like, "I can't listen to that song anymore."
Oh no, really?
Like, yeah, like Michael Jackson, "You Are Not Alone" that R. Kelly wrote. He wrote that after one of his women had an abortion, and like
Kelly wrote "You Are Not Alone."
Oh yeah, R. Kelly wrote "You Are Not Alone." Most definitely,
I had no idea.
but it was about an abortion. And then there was "Half on the Baby," which is just like, he wrote that about when his girls want to, get them pregnant. And so I can't listen to those two, but everything else, 12 Play, Seems Like You're Ready, and Leg Shaking are like, are.
And I would think that Leah's age, it was about them, clearly.
Yeah. So AJ number can't be listened to either.
She was 15.
Yeah, she was a baby. Yeah, so Leg Shaking is
my daughter's
now
15.
Viral.
Like, I would put every foot in his ass.
You mean tell me you wouldn't be like her parents and sign her up to go on tour with him and then sign the release form so he can marry her? No, you wouldn't do that.
Oh
you
my
wouldn't
God.
Be,
and
you
then get mad.
And then get mad about it
when you make a document or mockumentary or whatever.
Like
a made for TV movie, pulling them out on their shit.
Yeah. You signed her up for it. You put it in. Yeah. So Leg Shaking is viral on TikTok. And they got a cute little dance to it and everything. Yeah, and I think that people are, they got little hands going.
They're moving their hands more than they're shaking their legs.
It is interesting, right? Because I think this new generation, they're like, if the song is banging, then I don't really care about the artist, right? The artist don't matter. And it's like, and R. Kelly apparently owns the masters to the song, so he's getting paid off of this. And
well, he doesn't get any. I mean, but the money goes where?
Oh yeah, I mean he got all these settlements that he got to pay out and all this stuff. So I doubt he ever sees a penny.
Right? Because will he ever? How many years did he get? Is he up for
30?
parole?
So I think it's up to 30 so far.
When does he get? Oh, because that's still going on, isn't it? Or another one?
Yeah. I think he got like another trial in New York now. I think he had one in Chicago.
Okay, so I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but who did he piss off?
He pissed off somebody.
Like this went on for 20 years.
Decades.
Right? I think Jay was a baby when that P tape came out with that young girl.
Mm-hmm.
Sparkle. Was that Sparkles?
No, it wasn't Sparkle. It was just
not Sparkle. The girl was she was one of his singers.
I didn't realize the 15-year-old was one of his singers.
No, the aunt was. She's a niece.
Yeah, Sparkle was. Yeah, Sparkle was his singer. Yeah.
Right,
and it was her. It was her niece that was in the video.
She was hot, but then the parents got mad at her because they wanted the payoff.
Yep. No, yeah. R. Kelly, I think either he lost the mojo, right? He was no longer a value asset. He wasn't making money. He wasn't making hits. He wasn't producing money. As long as R. Kelly was making money, he was protected. The minute
because that's like Bill Cosby. I mean, the scuttlebutt with him behind him is that he was on the Johnny Carson. It wasn't Johnny Carson, obviously, but it wasn't. It was. I don't know if who. How long has Jimmy been there? I don't know if it was Jimmy Fallon or the person
Mhm.
before Jimmy who was what's his name?
Jay Leno.
Jay Leno. I can't remember, but he was on, and he was a guest, and Donald Trump was a guest. So it was probably Leno because Bill Cosby wanted to buy NBC.
Yep. Yep. He
And
know his place day to day.
so he was on. They were both on there. They were back in the green room, right? And they were keying in the green room, right? Then he goes out. It's his turn to go out.
Mm-hmm.
And when he went on, he talked shit about Trump.
Mm.
And apparently, well, you know Trump because he ran.
Yeah,
He's
he's petty.
Obama talking shit about him at the correspondence dinner. We get this motherfucker for 4 years. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So he's super petty. So if he
Very
had,
petty.
I mean, back then before he ran, I mean, people did. I guess he had some pull. I mean, a different type of clout, and so maybe what made Hannibal Buress do his set on Bill Cosby. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I don't
no,
know.
yeah. There was Bill Cosby was being
He was
humbled.
protected.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
being humbled after folks decided that he was feeling himself a little too much.
Yeah.
Kind of, I mean, that's the same theory that they put behind Michael Jackson, right? That
After he bought that catalog.
Michael he bought the catalog, which pissed a lot of people off because then Michael Jackson, for those who don't know, there was a moment in time where any Beatles song that was played, any Eminem song that was played, all that money went straight to Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
He owned the Beatles.
He owned the
White women
Beatles.
ain't like that. He owned the Beatles.
No, they were. I mean, and how Paul McCartney let that happen, I have no idea. But Paul McCartney was mad.
Michael did it legally. Michael was smooth. Michael owned him. And then Michael was like, okay, now I want to own Sony. And then Michael was going after he was going to go buy Sony. And somehow now after all these years of taking prescription sleeping medicine, now he can't handle it. If anything, your tolerance would have gone up. Oh, now the doctor doesn't know how much to give. You've been giving him this thing for years.
You're okay. Wow, I didn't see where you were going there. Okay.
I'm just saying.
Because they were paying. Because the company, the touring company was paying that doctor, right?
Yep.
He wasn't. He wasn't his employee.
Michael was humbled because he was getting a little too big for his britches, right? Like he was doing too much, and they didn't like it. We started off when he took the Beatles away from the white folks. They didn't like that too much. No, it all transfers. So that's kind of why I wore the shirt today. I know what we were talking about. And Cosby's one of those people where you got to separate.
You have to.
You got to separate man
because the Cosby Show is one of the best shows.
The Cosby Show. He was a father figure.
Show now. I can't. I'm like, and I do watch it with different eyes. Like, was he harassing her? Was he harassing her? I do look at it that way.
I don't because Felicia has come out and said that she never had any issues with him on the show. Yeah. No, and there was no other female that came out and said they had issues with him on the show. No. So when it came to the show, he was completely
there were
professional.
People who were on the I think some people that were maybe on the show as like bit characters or whatever. I don't know. Like was no, I don't even know if she ever said anything. Garcelle Beauvais, I don't know that she was ever on the show, but she said that she had an encounter with him. But he was protected. Bottom line was when he was making people lots of money, he was
even
protected.
After he was making people lots of money because Cosby Show's been off for decades. In fact,
they
had the Cosby Show.
And
then they started a new Cosby Show. Like people don't, I don't know, like a lot of people don't give hype to the second run of the Cosby Show that was on CBS.
I didn't like that.
That one lasted. It was like the empty nester version of the Cosby Show. That one lasted.
But it wasn't
like
them. He was like blue collar or something, right?
No, it was. I thought it was.
It wasn't them. It wasn't.
They were their same names. It was still called the Cosby Show. They were still the Cosby.
Yeah, because of him. But they were other characters. They weren't them. I watched it. You clearly didn't watch it.
I watched.
He was like a blue collar.
Was he
blue collar dude? Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I might go back and watch it because I think it's on Paramount Plus. But yeah, Cosby's one of those people where his talent, the show, what he provided, a different. Because from Cosby, we also got a different world.
Yeah.
Right. And like, how many black kids decide to go to college from watching A Different World.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh shit. How many career stars? Jada Pinkett, Tupac. Like the list goes on and on. The amount of
Right.
people that like appeared on A Different World, and it was a dope. It was a dope thing. So Cosby, one of those people again who you got to separate man from talent and whatnot. So there's
Okay.
that. And let's get into some of the even more
Oh God.
interesting things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Missouri has now decided. The Missouri School District has passed and approved corporal punishment. They are paddling again in Missouri.
What grade?
This is no. That's cute. No, it's not a grade. It's an entire school district. Um, so the district
Who
super,
voted on this? The parents?
the parents, yep, for the Castleville School District in Missouri, they have voted to approve corporal punishment. And here's the logic behind them: they were receiving complaints from parents that they wanted to have another step before suspension. And so their logical thought was, hey, let's do corporal punishment. Parents don't want their kids suspended, so let's beat them. Okay.
Meanwhile, you can't tell little Johnny nothing without him bringing his mama or daddy up to the school. Now, my aunt's a teacher, and she has the hardest time with parents. But now they're okay with you beating their kids.
And parents can't even beat their kids at home. Because if
Right.
you beat your kid at home, DSS
Right.
or whatever you call it in your child
Yeah,
protective services are going to
DFACS,
show up. They're going to
CYS.
show up, right?
Mhm.
Like, so, you know, you can't beat your kids at home, but you send them to the Castleville School District, they can beat your kids for you. You know, I can't imagine. Can you imagine? Now, they're saying that the only kids that will be paddled are the kids whose parents sign a opt-in form, which is going to be provided by the school office. Now, I say that's bullshit because at some point in time, there's going to be another little kid there. Like, did their parents sign it? I think so. Good. Let's beat them. And
So, what are they beating them with? You know,
now they just keep calling it paddling and corporal punishment.
so it's a paddle.
It's a
I
paddle.
remember when I was in elementary school, there was always rumored to be a paddle. Like kids were scared. They're like,
Yeah.
because
There's a
that's
paddle
when
out
you
there.
respect it. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Your teacher said something. Your parents were going upside. You did not want your parents to know. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah. But there was always rumor, like especially when I was like fourth grade. I remember like, oh, like said there's a paddle and they pulled so and so in. And it was yeah.
Ain't no rumor no more.
Who
There's a
knows? Yeah.
paddle.
Okay.
There's a paddle. There's beatings going on in Castleville School District in Missouri. So there's that.
The show me state.
Yeah, now they're about to show you, right? So, and then a little bit more serious than that, article came out on CNN about a week ago after studies being completed, saying that almost half of cancer deaths globally are attributed to preventable risk factors.
Wow.
Some of those risk factors
Okay.
are smoking,
Yeah. Duh.
increased BMI, which is, you know, niggas getting fat, and your alcohol consumption.
Alcohol consumption is tied to cancer.
Yep.
What type of cancer?
It did not say.
Oh, interesting. Well, you figure so much of this is environmental. For quite some time, like where I live, women, like moms in the school, they were getting breast cancer. Like all these women, all around the same age, same demographic, were all getting breast cancer, and I'm like, what is in the water?
Literally, what's in the water?
Yeah.
Did they figure out what was in the water?
No.
No,
But who
not at all.
knows? It could be our shampoo, our lotion, all that stuff's full. Unless you're buying organic, it's all filled with carcinogens.
The power lines,
Everything,
like
yeah.
those large power towers,
Mhm.
those large silver Eiffel Tower looking power lines,
Yeah.
cause cancer because that's nothing but
Mhm.
radiation shooting through those neighborhoods constantly.
Well, have you ever gone to look at a neighborhood, go look at a house, and you're like, no,
Facts.
you see nothing but power lines? Like,
Yeah, you're driving and looking at houses, you're like, yeah, nah, this don't work. I already know what's about to happen around here.
Ain't nothing but ghost and cancer coming from there.
Ain't nothing but cancer running through this neighborhood right here. Like, nah, I'm good. I'm good on
thanks
that.
anyway.
Right. So, so folks need to. I can't believe folks are still smoking though. That's what's crazy to me is that folks are still out here puffing cigarettes.
And
Like, after
cigarettes are
all-
expensive.
Like really, like what? After everything we know, you can still confidently go to the store. Let me get the Marlboro Lights. put it in your mouth, light it up, and smoke it and feel relaxed. Like people smoke to be relaxed. Like,
Yeah.
is that really a thing? Like
Like
you
how when I have dessert, I have to have a cup of decaf. There are people who like when they have, as soon as they eat, they gotta go outside because nothing makes your
or,
food taste better than having a cigarette.
or people who there are people who drink alcohol. I know many of persons I have gone to hang out with at times in my life who enjoy smoking cigarettes after they're drinking alcohol because it helps increase the effectiveness of the alcohol.
Really?
Yeah, they're only social smokers. They call themselves social smokers.
Okay, I knew somebody like that. I never knew she smoked until we went to dinner,
Mm-hmm.
and she said just occasionally.
Yep.
My parents used to smoke. They stopped. Well, my dad died, but he stopped years before he died. My mom stopped. I think when Jay was a baby, because I remember when. Well, Jackson, because I remember they went to visit. The Jackson was like maybe like a little over a year. Ariel was a baby. She stayed home. Yeah. Jay and Jackson went. And they came back, and they're even though my parents did not smoke in the house while they were there, all their clothes smelled like smoke. Had to rewash it.
Yeah.
So they stopped a long time ago. But my mom still has like she has a little speck on her lung, and she goes and gets it checked.
Yeah, all the time.
Several times a year. So
yeah, smoking is like that
we
part
do
of
a lot of
smoking
things
is
that are
tough.
bad for us. Yeah.
Like I can't even smoke marijuana. Like like smoking marijuana. I love marijuana. Like it's no secret. I love the weed, but I cannot smoke weed because
kind bud.
I spend way too much money on my colognes to not smell good. Like it doesn't make sense to me.
Smell like weed now.
Yeah,
But I
Yeah, give me a gummy and an edible all day long, and we are rolling. You know what I mean? So, this week we are going to talk about how do you know, and then what do you do when your manager or leader is incompetent in the workplace? Goodness gracious!
Well, I just shortened how to know you work for a dummy.
How to know you work for a dummy?
My brother was like, "When is that? How episode? How to know if you work for a dummy? When's that one airing?"
How do you know if your leader failed up into their role, right? Like if they are just not capable of functioning as a leader without literally sucking all your creativity and ideas and holding it for themselves. And so there's a list of things to know and ways to know. We'll start from the bottom. Number 11 on the list of things to know or ways to know if your manager is incompetent is that they're verbally abusive. Right? Oh. If your leader is not trying to uplift you, but resorts to putting you down, making you feel worse, belittling you, they're basically like a bully with a bully with power, right? And so they're usually trying to compensate for something, trying to make up for the fact that they probably don't know what they're doing. And they create that confrontational, toxic workspace to stop anyone from ever confronting them about what they're not doing. Right?
Yeah.
Where we're at. They're out of touch with the daily work. They don't know what you do, or they don't understand how much work you have, and then they ask you to do additional things on top of it. Like they have no clue how much work you're actually doing. They're like, hey, if you have some time, no, fucker, I don't have time. My plate is full. I think that is something that's real out here in these streets. They don't listen. Number 9, they don't listen to you. They have no effective communication skills, right? They don't hear what the employees are saying. They don't understand what roadblocks they may be facing. They just basically belittle and demand that you do or hit the goals in which have been laid out for you by the organization. They refuse to acknowledge trade-offs, right? They don't recognize priorities. They don't understand that something is immediate and something may not be immediate, right? They may be unable to give all my attention to this one thing right now because something else is more pressing. But in their mind, there is no such thing as trade-off. Everything is pressing. Everything has to be done.
When everything is one thing, then everything is nothing.
Whew.
If it's
message.
If everything's urgent, then nothing's urgent. Look at your glass. Did you steal that? It looks like a glass you stole from a restaurant.
I probably did steal this from a restaurant. I went through a very
quick. That big of a glass.
I just walk out with them. I literally would just.
You're like Rihanna. She does that.
Just walk out with it. Like what you gonna do? You gonna stop me? People don't. My wife be like, Shane, you can't. Well, like who's gonna stop me? Like y'all don't understand because of the racism of America. people do not want to confront a 6'4" black man walking out of anywhere. Like America is just blatantly racist, so they assume we're all violent. So I can just walk out with a glass, and no one will ever say anything to me. It's just one of those things. Um, I went through a huge kleptomaniac phase for a while there. Any restaurant I went into, I would take like the knives, the little like dipping bowls. Like it didn't matter. If I went in your restaurant, I was walking out with something. Like Denzel said to Jamie Foxx, I'm from Ronda Way. I'm leaving with something. I'm leaving with something. And I did. So I'm sure that glass was.
I did that when I was a freshman at college because like when I realized like we're like we don't have any ketchup at home. Grab that ketchup. Get those salt and pepper shakers.
Yo, you do what you gotta do in college to survive, man. I saw this one video where these kids were eating in like a little pizza area at their college, but instead of eating the pizza, they just had containers and they were just putting the pizza in the containers and then going back up to the cafeteria and getting more pizza and just piling up in their Tupperware to take it back to their dorm for the weekend.
Oh my gosh.
The struggle is real.
The struggle is real.
Struggle is real when you're in school. I tell you. Let me see. So number seven ways to know you are working for a negative leader. They only focus on negative. But no matter what you do, no matter how many goals you hit, no matter what's going on, you can always do better. Like it's never a good job, way to pull it out. I know you worked hard on it. It's always, hey, why didn't you do it faster? Hey, I saw some mistakes in the way you were writing. Like it's just always simple, right? They just don't ever want to acknowledge the good things that you're doing. And then you have those managers who do your job instead of theirs. The micromanagers. God knows the fucking micromanagers.
Yes.
The micromanagers. I've been in organizations where micromanagers have caused multiple people to quit back to back to back. It's like they want to know. They want metrics on everything. How long was your computer screen open? How long was your little icon green in the corner? How many calls you made? How many emails were sent out? How quickly you responded to the emails? All kinds. The micromanagers.
Like, is this a job? You just like, don't you have something you like? I worked with this one crazy woman, and my colleague and I would say, doesn't she have some VPN to VP? I mean, like, what is she doing? Like, this can't be where her time she was hired for, and where her time is best spent.
Right.
Just being dumb.
But they feel like that's what they have to do in order to be a good leader.
But that's easy though. That's the easiest thing. To not do your job and just harass somebody about theirs.
Facts.
It doesn't take any skill. I can set up a reminder, and Alexa could do that.
Facts.
So, because she keeps me. Oh, she just rang. She just heard.
See, why you have to say her name? Like,
right. She's like, yes. What would you like me to do?
It's like your kids. Like you mention their name in a casual conversation, they pop up. When you actually call them because you need them, they never show up. Or they deaf then.
Does that all the time. I will say his name. He's like, what? You need something? I'm like, no, I don't. I just heard you say my name. But I say your name all the time, and you never come. So, but he's probably the best out of the worst, because usually when I call him, he'll just call me on the phone. Like, oh, are you calling me? So
that's fine. I wish they had cell phones back in when I was younger.
No.
When your mom and dad call you just to come and get them a remote.
No.
Or just like call you across the house just to come and pick something up.
No, because then they would have called us when we were out playing.
Oh, that is true.
You knew you had to be home. What time you had to be there? You didn't need anybody. You know what I mean?
That's true. The freedom that we had when we were kids is unprecedented. These kids will never experience freedom like that ever again in their life.
You could be anywhere. You could be anywhere.
As long as you back home by the time the lights came on.
Exactly. Or if I be in this house by 6 o'clock, so whatever it is.
And half the time your parents didn't even ask you where you went. You just came home. They just be like, go wash and come eat. Like they didn't even ask no questions. They didn't care.
I mean, there's times we would walk. I would be like an hour from home. Like, you know what I mean? You just start walking places. I'm gonna go visit so and so. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do,
We go riding our bike.
And don't be on your bike. You and your bike.
Oh my gosh, my cousin and I, we'd roam the island on our bikes. It was just like, let's go. It was.
That reminds me, we were in the vineyard a couple weeks ago, and so the kids are like these free-ranging chickens. Okay. So all the curfews and stuff that they have when they're Salad Fingers is calling me.
Ooh.
That is funny. Salad Fingers.
Sounds like a gangster. Are you running a mob over there? Is that a gangster?
It's in Idaho though. But Jay's not in Idaho, so I don't know. Whatever. I'll check back. So the kids are like, even young kids, like 12-year-olds are out like chilling, at Fat Ron's getting a burger at 1 a.m. And so this was my kid, the youngest kid's second time going. The first time was 2 years ago. So Jackson kind of did a bit of that, in and out, whatever, because he's like, he's regiments himself.
Yeah.
But Errol was all up underneath us. So this time we're like, oh gosh, we're in a house. There's two 15-year-olds. It'll be 16. They're Errol's age. You know what I mean? Jackson's age, whatever. And one of the girl, Desi, who's a super sweetheart, she was mature. Errol's kind of like a baby. And I guess I was irritated, but I guess I'm not. I mean, look, she wants to be a baby. It's like me when I wanted to go date boys, but I wanted to play with my Barbies. Like,
exactly.
You know what I mean? And so, Desi, she's like, I said, Desi seems older than you, doesn't she, Errol? She's like, yes. She's talking about colleges. And Errol was just like, I hate school. I mean, kids all age, but I hate school. I hate it.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, they became friends. They were friendly. And so, Errol hung out with her, but she needed to find her people.
Right.
Okay. So her people were, a little bit, more babyish like her. The one girl I think she found that she liked was like 14.
Right.
Something like that. But, so I'm like, hey, what time is it? What, you know what I mean? I'm not going to bed till my kids are in the house. And so my brother-in-law Bill was like, relax. It's not like we're on an island. They're not going anywhere.
They're not.
Natalie Holloway, hello. He's like, well, unless they're going to swim. I'm like, whatever. But yeah, it was something like I would text, like when Jackson was out, I would say, you do know you have a curfew because one of the so the two kids were brother and sister, they're twins. So Ivy was the boy and he had a curfew. His parents were like, you have to be in by 1.
Okay.
And he could have been at the other end of the island. That boy, he was like, I will be in the bed. I'll be in the house, but I'll do you one better. I'll be asleep. You come home like, is Ivy here? Like I would, because I'm looking out for all the kids. So I'm like, I'm taking him. Don't have Jackson. You can have Ariel. I will take Desi and Ivy.
Ivy's smart. Ivy's like, look, there's a lot of shit I can get into between now and 1 o'clock.
He ran. One day he ran. He was like, I ran all the way up. Meanwhile, Ariel will be the one like, can I get an Uber? Girl, no, you can't get an Uber. It's 1 a.m. You're 15. You're not getting an Uber by yourself.
Funny.
And that's why I tried to you teach the kids, be in pairs, in groups. Do not leave your person.
Exactly.
You can't come home. You and your person have to stay together.
Most definitely.
So that's me trying to ingrain that in her.
But you have to, though. Yeah. Because they're getting ready to go off and they'll be on their own. And...
like her, she's scary. Like she's scary. Like, where I am concerned. There's some kids that you're like, okay, they can handle themselves. And she needs. Yeah.
My oldest is like that. He's just like in his own world. He ain't stressing about learning how to drive. He's about to be 17. He's chilling. Like it's not a.
I spent $450 last week between Ubers and Lyfts. That's bullshit. Excuse my language. Because Jackson, there's a car out there for you to drive. Get your freaking license. Take your driving lesson.
Why do I have to drive when someone can drive me?
I'm so sick of it. And now he's like, when he was in school, when he went to private school and was 20 minutes away, he got an Uber there and back. And I was used to, paying that. He's around the corner now because he wants to play basketball. And he got a lift this morning. No, he got a lift. He got a lift yesterday morning.
Oh, I know he did. I'm like, you need to walk home.
And so if I had a strong enough arm, I could throw a rock.
I'm like, you need to walk.
Yeah. So I'm like, this is not going to work. But anyway,
so him and sister don't walk to school together in the morning.
They don't even talk to each other. Yeah, they don't.
That is funny because I'm like, wait, they go to the same school now, so why they just don't walk together in the morning?
She said she saw him. One of them said, like the first week of school, like I saw Ariel, or she said I saw Jackson in the hall. I said, "Do you speak to him?" She's like, "No." She's like, "But he's really tall." She said, "But you can't stop and speak. It's pandemonium." So
that is interesting. I don't know how I reacted if my sibling went to school with me. I said, I don't know how I react if my sibling and I were in the same school together at the same time.
They'll just act like they don't know one another.
Did you and your brother go to school at the same time? Okay. So back to the list. Number 4 on the list of bad managers.
No, 5.
Number 5. No, number 5 was they don't give credit where it's due.
Oh, I missed
They
number 5. Don't
are
give
number
credit.
5 is they definitely don't give credit to where it's due. They will make sure when they are presenting ideas that was discussed in a meeting that they present those ideas as if they came up with every single one
Yeah.
themselves. That when work is done, it will be presented as if they did the work themselves, even though they had a whole team doing it, and they probably never even looked at the project until it was finally completed. Like that's them. 4, they don't share information. They believe that information is power and you shouldn't have any, so they keep all the information to themselves. They hold on to the information, they hoard it, they make sure that you never hear about what's coming down until the day it comes down. They are just little manipulative persons,
Mhm.
assholes, bands
What's a
is
band?
you know what a band is. Go into your urban life, call a band. You a band. A
Badass.
band. Yes, a band. We'll let that marinate for a second.
Okay. I was say, okay. Okay, go ahead. What's 3?
3 is they try and they try to manage everything through rules, right? They don't
Okay.
just give leeway to things being what they are. Everything has to have a rule. If there's a change that happens, then they have to institute a rule. If there is a process, that they have to institute a change in process. A SOP
Mhm.
has to be done for this, right?
Mhm.
Like they don't understand the ability to give latitude and to be fluid. No, everything has to have a rule. Everything has to be
Okay.
micromanaged. They refuse to take blame for their failures.
That's
These
2.
people, yeah. Number
Okay.
2, they take all the credit and take none of the blame. Everything is passed off to somebody else. It was somebody else's fault. Somebody else didn't get something in properly. Somebody else didn't do their part. Everything is just somebody else's fault. And the number one way to know that you're working for a dummy or an incompetent leader is that they can't make a decision to save their life.
Oh my gosh.
They never are they don't have the gumption to make a decision because they don't want to be blamed for anything, so they don't make any decisions at all. They just are chronically indecisive. They just don't know what to do, and if they happen to make a decision that results in a good outcome, then they take all the credit. And if they make a decision that results in a bad outcome, they pass around all the blame, right? So those are ways to know that your leader is a dummy or, you know, incompetent for our PC folks.
I worked with a guy. He used to throw his team under the bus all the time. Now
Mm.
he was a frontline manager. Now he's a director where he manages managers because that's just that's the kind of go get itness they were looking for. People to literally throw your team under the bus
Hey,
any
ain't
chance
no
he
way.
got.
The best way to fail is to fail up,
Yeah, yeah,
and corporate America is notorious for promoting and failing folks upwards. As long as you go to the right events, you
yeah.
hang out with the right people, you laugh at the right jokes, you will
Mhm.
always be able to fail upwards, no matter what.
I want you to do this. You need to do this top 11 or 10 on TikTok or make a reel,
Bet
Shane.
we
So
will do that. We'll be more active on the Tickety Talk
I
or the Gram.
know, I know,
Now,
because
let me see our accountability corner this week. Trish, I know you had something very close to your heart for the accountability
well,
corner this
you
week.
know what? I know that we've talked about this before, like negotiating offers, right? The other day I made an offer to a black woman. Not because she was black, because she was fantastic, right? There were
Top
several
notch.
candidates came down to her, another dude who was non-compliant and who basically he would, you know, he would the type of person who could gaslight you.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're talking about how you need this, I need you to know how to do this, or can you do this, or and then he's going to like put it like do the Jedi mind tricks. I'm like, don't care about that. Care about this.
Right.
To the point where when I went to go do the reference check, we use skill survey, and I was like, okay, I'll need 2 former managers and 3 former colleagues. And he was like, well, I've been at my company for 7 years. Is that a long time? Like
This
were you just born 7 years ago? You didn't work
okay.
anywhere before 7 years ago. So basically, he was telling me that
Yeah, I
don't
got
don't
nothing
worry.
for
You
you.
don't you don't need
Yeah.
you don't need any references. He did not do them. So I was like, well, use yourself eliminating yourself. Anyway, so have this other candidate, and make her the offer,
Mm-hmm.
and she goes basically ballistic. Like, was like indignant. Like, what? Like, not saying what. Like, how do you say what without saying what? I know for a fact. I check Glassdoor. I'm like, we love Glassdoor. It says the range should be 180 to 210. Blah 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 blah. If I were a white male, I was like, what? I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? That hurts. Like that hurt.
Yeah.
But it pissed me off because, well, it's like, I guess she had a freak flag. Like, we all have a freak flag. Some people just don't fly theirs.
Mm-hmm.
And she got through that whole thing and then wasn't poised enough
To negotiate properly.
to negotiate properly. Like, she let all that emotion come out from interviewing that she negotiated poorly.
Yeah.
And set up this adversarial. So then the hiring manager, who knew her, they worked together in another company, was like, I don't know, like, if she feels that way, like, she'll never feel protected by us, because that she'll always feel like
They're shortchanging her.
yeah, like, there's got to be a way to do that. There is a way. I'm gonna say there's
Yeah, you just negotiate with some professionalism.
Yeah, I had a girl almost cry once when I made her an offer because
Good.
she felt that it should have been more, and she looked and did, went on different sites to see what it should be,
Mm-hmm.
and she talked to people, and I was like, I know what the salaries are internally, and I was like, well, I know what they are internally, and you're mistaken.
Yeah, folks, that's what. Oh my gosh! So what I think we're going to start doing too is we're going to start talking about these HR representatives who give advice online that are shitty advice. Because there's a lot, like I saw a video last night where someone was talking about how to negotiate salary.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing I could think to myself was, if you do this, you're going to piss off the recruiter and you're not going to get a job. Like, it was just, we'll put it up. Like, I'll send it to you. Like, it is just, we have to kind of debunk these things, man, because people don't know what they're talking about. And if somebody tells you they have like a high salary or something, chances are they might be lying to you. Like, people like to gas themselves up.
They do.
You can come work for us. Oh, they're paying me such and such and such and such. No, they're not. We're really not paying them that much that they say that they're being paid.
Yeah, people lie. People do.
They're lying to you. And now you look silly in this negotiation process, telling me what they make, and I'm looking at their salary, and I'm like, they don't make that.
And I know it's tough when I know it's tough to look at equity. Like, some people have think that equity is everything. Some people think equity is nothing. But you really have to look at the entire offer. Like, I've made offers before where we've maybe that there was a difference in salary, but we made it up with sign-on bonus just to get that delta, to get you to that first year, to that second year where you're going to get the full equity. And some people are like, they're like all about it, and some are just like, no, they just don't get it. But I mean, it's your prerogative. But she called me back, and she didn't leave a message. And so when I called her, she's like, no, I'll wait. It could wait. I'll wait till Monday. I was like, okay. So this is someone
she's waiting on another offer to counter that offer.
I think this is clearly a case of them possibly dodging a bullet and her being nuts. So, but you got to keep your emotions in check. It's not that, I mean, anyway, be pissed afterwards. And it was her birthday. I'm like, you ruined your birthday. So I wanted to talk about that. So Delta is in my accountability corner as well. A couple weeks ago, I should have booked one flight, did not, decided I was going to stay in the vineyard. We're going to stay longer. Like, hey, I want to change it to Sunday. Me and the kids pack up all our crap, get to the airport. We have no tickets. The person booked us on Cape Air on the flight off the island, and then Delta in JFK. So I'm on the phone for like an hour because the person can't help me at Cape Air. She's talking to the Delta person. There's only one person at the counter for every airline. Finally, I get this rude agent. I didn't get her name. She was so rude. And she was like, and I wasn't rude to her, but I was annoyed, but she was like, don't be upset. You can't tell me to be upset. I'm in the airport with no flights. I've no place to stay. I got 2 kids. Well, I had a place to stay. I could go back to to my people, but they didn't know that.
Right.
Everything was sold out on that island. What if we were all leaving and they were all gone? And you know what I mean? I would,
Yep.
be sleeping on the bench like Lori Jean and I did in 1994. But anyway, so boo to you, Delta.
Now, see, I want to put Delta in the accountability corner for the exact opposite. So, Trish and I were traveling this week, and seriously, like Trish and I probably talk every day, right? We are genuine friends, but we never spoke about our flights, right? We knew what flight we both were like, we're going to take such and such flight to go to this such and such place, and we're like, bet. We didn't talk about when you book, none of that stuff. I'm on the plane waiting, and
I was extremely late because I thought my flight was at 5:45 and it was at 5:05 and it was at 4:40 when I realized my flight was at 5:05. So way to go, TSA, pre-check and clear.
Facts. Yo, how you don't have if you out here and you traveling, you don't have TSA pre-check, like I don't know what's wrong with you, right? Because I look at those lines and I'm like, oh, goodness gracious, I could not do it. But so I'm on the plane chilling, and then Trisha calls me. She's like, hey, you on the plane? I'm like, yeah. So Tristan walks up, like she walks on to where we're sitting, and I'm like, okay, where you sitting at? She's like, right there. I'm like, right where? She's like, right there.
Oh, right. That's so funny.
Shout out to Delta for putting us right next to each other on the plane.
Right. And I was like, Shane, did I tell you my seat number? You're like, nope. And I was like, did you tell me yours? But as soon as I walked in the plane, I was going to say, Shane! We were way in the back. But we were in exit row, and you couldn't break dance because it was a bulkhead.
Man, the leg room.
It was a bulkhead exit row. So it's like you could totally stretch out. After you figure out how to help an emergency evacuation. But Shane and I decided we were going to open the door, let the slide blow up, and we're leaving.
We're going to set the example. We're going to lead by example. Right. That's all. We're good. We're good. We're going to lead by example. We're not going to tell you what to do. We're going to do it ourselves. Yes, then you can follow.
And you do it.
And hopefully you don't die. But, right. We're going to be out there.
And don't try to grab your shit like they did. Remember when that flight was in Dubai? The plane caught on fire. And the people were all trying to get their luxury handbags and attaches. Like if you're dead, you
don't really need that stuff, do you? No, not at all. That's funny. But yeah, no. So that's good stuff, man.
So Delta, so negative Delta plus Delta. Then they changed my flight again, but that's some crap. To me, so Delta broke. Well, they didn't really break. Maybe they did. The screw came out of my handle on my suitcase. Called Toomey. They're gonna send me a screw for free. Yeah,
it wasn't. I don't think it was Delta, man. I think it was our Lyft driver, dude. Because it was good when we got off the plane, and it was good when we were walking up to him, and then when he took it out of the back of the truck, that's when it got all wonky. When we got.
Okay. Sorry, Delta.
Yeah, I think it was our old Lyft guy.
Okay.
Oh man, and side note, shout out to them 2022 Escalades. God damn, boy.
That may have been in 23.
Oh, yeah, whatever the fuck.
The Escalade is.
Let me get one, please.
The Escalade is wow. Yeah, that is luxury on.
Worth every dollar.
I mean, that's just.
It's worth every dollar. Every $110,000 that thing costs.
I mean, I don't like to drive, but it could drive me. So.
Right, and it can literally drive you.
It could drive you. Well, they did say, I read that the Escalade has the best
driving assistant program. Yeah. Shout out to that thing. That thing.
8 cameras, all the. I mean, all the time, like that. Yeah, that was.
I just bought my truck, and I'm like, I want to pay this off, and then I'm gonna buy Escalade. Because real talk, like that thing is.
Yeah, the built-in screens, like the iPad, like. Those iPads.
Dude, it was like a 14-inch screen on the back of the head.
It was this big, literally, like however big your headrest is. It's like, wow. I was like, is this aftermarket? He was like, no, peasant.
It is nice. Yes, you peasants. Look at you in awe of this vehicle.
Yes. My husband is in the accountability corner again. So my good neighbors are out of the country, and my daughter is getting their mail.
Oh, awesome.
So she's putting their mail in a white shopping bag and left it on top of the dining room. Now,
he did not.
Now, mind you, this is where he puts all of his crap, all his bicycle backpack is on there, and a little water thing. And there was a shopping bag from REI on there for weeks. And I said to him last week, early week, hey, do you need this bag? He was like, no. I said, do you need the receipts? He's like, yes. So I asked, took the receipt out, left there used the bag, recycled it. I leave town a couple of days, come back. Errol's like, Dad threw away the mail. He threw the mail, like recycled the mail. I was like, what? And there was like they had some checks in there, priority mail stuff. And no matter, even if it was a bunch of magazines, I mean,
still there, man.
So what? And I was like, he's like, I feel bad. And I was like, you never throw anything. Like, this is somebody who never throws anything away.
Yeah.
I could see if he was a neat freak.
Yeah.
He throws nothing away. So I said to him, you just got to look deep in your heart and think about why you threw that stuff away. Did you think it was mine?
He's been petty.
Did you think it was mine? Because I took your REI bag and threw it away and asked you and recycled it. Now, meanwhile, there are boxes from empty Amazon boxes that could have gone out by the door with the mail. I mean, with the garbage on Monday. But he chose to pick up a big shopping bag full of mail. So anyway, that's between him and Jesus. But
that was fun.
Yeah. Oh, and okay, how about the Joe Biden with the student loan forgiveness? That's a good thing.
I mean, yeah, it's a good thing for those who qualify. You should definitely enjoy that.
Yeah. Oh, then other people were saying, "Oh, what are we teaching people to just go out and get loans and not pay them?"
Yeah, I saw a
That's
thread
what bailout. That's what corporate bailouts are.
All those people got mad PPP loan forgiveness, like millions of dollars of people, but they're complaining about, oh, good old America here for you. There you go. Let's do that. It's awesome. Great show. Good stuff to come. We're gonna put together some things. We're gonna be a lot more active online and such, and
on the TikTok and the
on
gram.
the TikTok talk and on the gram. Seriously, we don't want to work no more. We're trying to make this thing something.
We don't want to work anymore. Okay.
Oh, we trying to work with these folks.
10 hours a week. Okay?
Come on now. Like, I'm trying to figure this out. We do a couple streams a week, make a couple million, live a good life, right?
Right.
I'm not asking for too much.
Not asking for too much at all. I do not want to work hard anymore. I want to just have fun.
But we might start an OnlyFans where we giving receipts. We talking about names, corporations, managers. We giving real receipts, right? Like, we talking about detailed organizational schemes.
No.
All right. Well, Trish, it's Friday. You have a wonderful weekend.
All right, you too. Talk to you soon. Thanks, everybody.